Welcome back to On the Workbench, and we are still, or what is still on the workbench right now is the Book Nook, the Book Nook Wonderland. So this is what we're building. Just as a reminder, I just broke it. There we go. This is where we're at so far. So let's see, what do we got next to do here? Let's flip to the next page. I mean, it looks like we've got some plants. So all the plants are in here. Let's see, we've got TGB07, TGB07. This, to me, looks like P10. And then we need P11. What is P11? Here it is. P11. This way. Yeah, that's P11. So that's another thing. I know I've mentioned this in the previous videos. The parts in these bags are not, they'll label them on the instructions, say like this is labeled as P10. Well, nowhere is it actually labeled P10 in the real life. All you get is the bag that it comes in. So you kind of have to just match them up, I suppose. So now what they want us to do is just cut an end off of this. Is there a particular one, or are they all the same? Looks like they're all the same, so it doesn't matter which one we cut, and I think we want to cut it. Looks like we're going to go up 1, 2, I think. Yeah, I think we're going to cut it right here. There we go. And then they just want us to tuck that into this little, I guess, vase type thing. Is that going to stay in there? How exactly? I guess you just got to shove the heck out of it. I don't know if it's going to fit in here, is it? Can I twist it in there? Get in there. Yeah, if you just really go at it, you can get it to kind of stick itself in there. I feel like that's going to come shooting across the room at some point, but I guess it's going to hold itself. You know what I can do? Yeah, exactly. That was what I felt like was going to happen. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut one more. This might be the wrong move, but I'm going to cut one more, I don't know, I guess layer of leaves off. See if this will fit a little better, a little easier. Get in there. And then, okay, yeah, that works fine. And I think what I'm going to do, where's this thing going? It's going to be sitting on the floor there. Yeah, it's just going to be sitting on the floor. So you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to drop, I feel like that's going to come out pretty easy. So I think I'm going to drop just a little, just a drop of CA in there. Let that run down, catch those leaves. Let's let that dry up. How can I do this? I guess I can just hold, you know what I can do? I've got my activator. I'm going to take this off camera. There we go. Just give it a squirt, and I glued my fingers, all right? Now, where does this go? So we've got a P12, which again comes from the same bag and is the little, it's pretty recognizable. It's like a teacup or coffee mug or whatever this is. So that is going to use one of these guys. These are the little double-sided tape. They're essentially little double-sided tape discs or circles. And you can see, let me move this over so you can see. Everything is marked where things go. So we've got an X right here. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but there's an X on the top of this book. So I just put my double-sided tape disc circle thing right on top of that. Pull this backing. Am I getting it? You never can tell if you're pulling the backing or the whole thing off. Let's see. Yeah, it's pulling it all. Yeah, again, I think I mentioned this last time. Sometimes, and if I was probably doing this not for video where I'm trying to build this by the instructions, I would just use glue. Sometimes glue is easier. I could just put a dot of glue right there, stick the mug on it, and be done. But I want to follow the instructions, which, there we go, I just got it. The whole point in these builds, I think, are a big part of it, is that you don't need glue, you don't need any tools. So I'm gonna try to follow that. So let's go and stick that down. So now we have a cup sitting on a book. And then this, I think it shows it going on this X right there, which to me, it seems like these little, seems like these stickers are going to be these stickers are going to be too big. So what's going to happen, and this has been going on every part of this build, if you've been following along. So with this being too big, I mean, I guess I could trim it down. You could trim it down. The problem is if you use this little disc here and then you stick it here, you're going to end up with exposed adhesive, and everything in the world is going to stick to that. As if you sit this out, if you actually want to use this and use it as a display, any piece of dust that floats by is going to stick on that. So what I think I'm going to do instead is do exactly what I just said I would do. Let me level this up some. I'm going to sit this underneath here just to make this level, or more level. That's not even tall enough, because I'm using this, I'm using super thin CA glue. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop a piece of CA glue right there and just glue it on. But I'm using this super thin CA glue. So if this isn't kind of level, it'll run on me, and I don't want that to happen. But just dot of glue and then set it there, and we'll let that dry. I think we'll let that dry on its own. I don't want to spray it. I don't know how any of this stuff will react to the accelerant for CA glue, so I'm just going to let it dry on its own, I think. It'll probably haze up a little bit there, but that we can just polish that off. But I think that's going to be the best way to go about doing that. Let me move this out of the way, and we can move forward. But there's been a lot of steps to this where you end up with kind of, because they're just using, let me show you guys if y'all are just joining us. They're using a sheet of, this is basically contact paper that's been printed on and then cut. So they're essentially stickers, but there's a lot of times that the backs of these stickers, the adhesive sides, are just open to the air. And that really does create a dust magnet for you. So that's the one thing I would mention about these particular kits here, at least this brand. I haven't done any of the other ones, but that's something you might want to think about. I've just been backing them with paper, and then that, just leaving the adhesive that needs to stick, backing the rest of it with paper, and that solves the problem. Anyway, let's see what we have to do next here. We need A13. Let me grab our board of A pieces, which we have. It looks like all of these are going to end up being books at some point. But where is A13? Is this one? So we have A13. And we're going to need B26. I might as well get that one ready. This is our B board, so B26 is right here. If I can, let me flip it over. Pop out of there. You got to be real careful with these little ones, or at least I feel like you got to be careful, because I feel like you can break them where they're not supposed to break. There we go. And I've got a problem. I've put my file. I need my file. I've used it as my leveling device. I think that should be fine, because I want to file off these little nubs you get from pulling those off the sheets or sprues or whatever they're called. Like so. This one definitely has some little nubs on it. We want to get these off just to make sure things fit appropriately. All right, now we need, speaking of this contact sheet, we've got J2, which is this one here. And we're gonna go make sure we've got a hole in this. We gotta make sure it lines up with this. But I've been trying to line up the spines. Like, I don't want, you put this on here, and I've just dealt with decals too much that I know that sometimes you put this on there, you wrap it around, and the spine doesn't line up, or that edge won't line up. So what I've been doing is lining up the spines like this to make sure that I know my spine is good, the spine of the book in this case, and then folding my covers around. And then you might end up with some extras or whatever, but at least you know your spine is good. And I can always trim. I can trim that extra decal off if I need to. I don't know. That's the way I've been going about it. I think that's probably your best game plan as far as these little books go. Does that make sense? So now I know my spine is lined up, and then however my covers my covers are, though. They should be good. Okay, so we need it this way. Where did our little piece go? This goes like so. And these fit tight sometimes. There we go. And you gotta be real careful, or at least I feel like you gotta be real careful. You gotta give a lot of pressure to get these little pieces in there. So I'm trying to be pretty strategic with where I apply that pressure. If I put too much pressure on the end here, I might break it off. So I'm gonna make sure I push more strategically, I guess you could say, so that to keep in mind of the fragileness of these little pieces. So that's that. And then this one goes in front here like this, it appears. Let me pull this over so you guys can see a little better. It's going to go right here. Again, I'm being very careful. This piece is kind of loose. I guess that's how it goes. I don't know. Anyways, there we go. There's just a book kind of standing there. Okay. I guess something's going to be holding that up at some point. I don't know. Now, next, we have B24. I always go back. By the way, I always go back and scan where I just came from. Make sure I didn't miss anything. That really comes from years and years of Lego building. If you've built Legos ever in your life, per the instructions, it's inevitable that you've missed something in a step, moved 5 steps forward, and then figuring out what in the world went on. So it's become a habit for me to always check the previous step that I was working on. Did I make sure and not miss anything, and then go back to the next, move on to the next step, which is B24. And B24 is this guy right here. Again, the instructions in this thing say to punch from the backside. It'll help reduce the amount of spurs on there, so I'm going with it. I mean, the easy way to reduce those spurs again is just take your file. It can be just a fingernail file. This for me is a coarse sanding stick that I have from a set of sanding sticks. Just give it a quick file. That'll take care of it. Let me move this back over, and this guy goes here. Always make sure, the other thing I always want to make sure is that I get it nice and flush all the way down. I don't want to have any gaps. I do think if I was building this on my own, I was just noticing it with this bucket here, I would probably be gluing this stuff to make it more permanent. But again, trying to build it like the instructions say, which is without glue. So we'll see how it turns out in the end. Well, I mean, there's been spots of glue, but we'll ignore that. Anyway, so now we have, what do we got here? We're going to make some more books. So we've got B4. That's not B's. Here we go. B4 is here. I've been putting so sometimes these pop out kind of when you don't want them to, so I've been just making a pile over here so I know where they're at. My very organized, disorganized pile over there. So we've got B4, and B4 is going to get J6 from the sticker sheet. Where is J6? 5. 6. Well, what do you know? J6 is right below J5. And this is all just basically rinse and repeat. So we've got 4, and I don't think it really matters. You know what I need to do, though? I'm going to put that right there for the time being. And now I'm going to smooth these out because I do want to have smooth edges here. Okay. Carefully unstick my sticker. Okay, please don't. Thank you. Okay. Again, I'm going to line up the spine. Let me do this a little closer so maybe you guys can see. Is this focusing, I hope? Hopefully this is focusing and you can see that I'm lining up this spine and then wrapping the front and back covers. And now I know my spine is nice and good. And then I can trim. Well, I say I can trim. I can find my X-Acto. I'm going to trim the extra here because I don't want it folding over on me like it is right now. Come on. Might be time to change the X-Acto blade. There we go. I think that's going to be okay. And then where does this book? Oh, I see. We're going to make an entire stack of books. So let me just get the books together first. So we have B3 times 2. I think here's one of the B3s that had came off already. Here's another B3. Put these over there. So this is B3 times 2. Again, let's clean them up a little bit. It's B2. Okay. And now we're going to stack them. And J25. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and drop some glue on this. So I don't have to sit here and try to hold, because apparently what we're going to do is we're going to hold these together and then wrap them with the decal, and the decal is what's going to hold them together. I'd rather go ahead and have mine held together with just a drop of glue. Like so. And then what are we using? J25. J25, yeah, J25. Where is J25? Oh, here it is. Okay. And now we got to make sure and orient our book correctly for our decal here. And we'll have 2 spines to line up, just like so. And then we'll wrap them. Beautiful. Okay, and what I think I'm going to do, because we're getting a few books together, I'm going to set let me get my instructions up here so you can see what I'm about to do here. We're making multiple stacks of books to go in one stack of book, but I don't want to get them mixed up. So I'm going to set the book. So basically I can no longer see the part piece, or the part number. There we go. The part number for the piece that we're doing. So I'm just going to set them right on the instructions here. This book is this one. This 2 stack of books is this one. And then when I go to put all the pieces together, I know which is which. I hope that makes sense. So now we have 4 times B2. So here's 1, 2, 3. There should be one more over here. 4. So we're going to have 4 of these. Let me give them all a quick file. It doesn't take much, just a quick file, and it gets it nice and smooth. And one more. And I think I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put just a drop of glue on each one of these. Oh, and I always forget to mention, so I'm using Starbond CA. It literally is the best CA glue out there. And if you want your own Starbond CA glue, there should be a link in the description. It'll get you a little discount if you want to give it a try. They have all different CA glue. Right now, I've literally used this stuff so much that I'm down to just one bottle of super thin or super fast thin CA. I usually use the medium stuff, but I've literally used it all up. I need to give them a call and try to get some more. Here we go. Now we have a 4 times stack of books, I guess we would say. Stack of books 4 high. I'm just going to give it a quick squeeze to let it stick together a little bit. All right. Well, nope, not long enough squeeze. Again, I could use the accelerant. Make this go make it go quicker, but I think that's all right. What is the J16? Is our book cover. Where is J16? It should be a taller one, I would think. Yeah, here we go. J16. Line up these spines. Like so. Wrap them. There we go. There's a 4 times stack of books. And now again, I'm just going to set it right on the instruction where it goes, because we're going to have another 4 stack of books, and I don't want to confuse them. Make sure I'm doing them the correct way. We got 4 times B1. That's all over here. There they are. And we're going to do the exact same thing we just did, basically. So I think I've decided we're gonna name this series I'm doing here, this kind of, it's essentially a 45 minutes of almost like a live recording. It is live recording. Just not shown live. I don't know, however you say that. But it's basically a 45-minute live recording. I think we're gonna call this, I'm just gonna call it On the Bench. So it's basically, what am I working right now on the workbench or the crafting table or whatever you want to call this table that I work on here. We'll call it On the Bench, and then so that way because I think at some point we're going to have multiple projects going on at the same time, because obviously there's going to be times when I need to let glue dry or I need to let paint dry, or there's going to be projects you're working on where there's going to be downtime where you can't really move forward, so I'll have to move in another project. So it could be multiple projects, whatever, all the different projects going on that are on the bench right now, and I think that's what we'll call the series. Made sense to me. Let me know what you think. If you have a better name, just let me know down in the comments. But I think that's what I've kind of come up with to name this series. Okay, what do we need? J38. 37, 38. Here we go. All right, line the spines up again. Like so, and then wrap. That wrapped a little crooked. I think I can fix it up a little bit. There we go. There we go, not too bad. All right. So there is all our different stacks of books. Now we can put this together, which is basically, let me move this back a little more in frame. That's what we put this peg here for. Basically, is we're just going to slide the books. It's what's going to hold the books for us. So we want this one to go this way. Where are we at? Come on. I'm starting to wonder now, maybe we didn't want to glue these books. You know what I can do, what I'm going to do. I have a tray, where did I put it? Stuff sitting on it. I'm gonna grab a smaller sanding stick. I think I have some that are gonna work perfect. Here we go. And I'm just gonna sand. Will this fit in here? Yep. Try it. Open this up a little bit. I think when we glued these together to kind of hold them while we put the book cover on, you could easily be off just enough to make it a little tougher to slide down our peg here. But I think this will open it up, or at least that's my hope. Yep, that did the trick. There we go. So I think I'll do that with each one. What's the next? What goes on next? Is it this, the other stack of 4? So I think I'll run this down just the same way, if I can. This peg hole is a little tighter than the one previously. Let me just see if it'll fit. Which way I want to make sure it goes the right way, this way. There we go. Yeah, so just a little light sanding will do the trick, it looks like. So next is the stack of 2. There we go. And it'll go this way. Why can I not figure out how that went? There we go. All the way on, and then the last one is just gonna sit right on top. And I'm wondering, yeah, no, that actually fits pretty firmly. You can pick the whole thing up by that last book. So there we go. Let me give you a little better look. Well, now we've got a stack of books sitting up front there. I wish this didn't show as much, but that is how it is oriented. Let me double check, yeah. You kind of see the wood grains here, which doesn't make a lot of sense. Seems like you would twist all that around. It is what it is. All right, what do we got next here? They kind of show you. Oh, we're gonna put, we got a little sticker we gotta put on. Where's that guy at? J41, it's this one, which is gonna be the power button sticker, I guess you'd call it. I got some dotted lines that it needs to fall in. When I do stickers like this, the way I usually do it, or decal stickers, whatever, I'll use an X-Acto to kind of hold it. That way I can line it up, because we want to try to cover those dotted lines. I don't want those dotted lines showing. And then stick it like so. Well, they still showed. I don't know if you can get around it, but not too bad. Looks all right. All right. Progress. Again, I'm double checking, making sure I've got everything handled there. Looks like it. So next we need, we got A15. Where are my A's? We're going to be making more books. I think basically this entire build is just books. It's books and more books. So I need 2 A15s. These just fell off. And I just knocked another one loose. Oh boy, they're all coming loose. That's all right. We'll just stack them up over there. I've got 2 A15s and I need an A10. Were any of those A10? I don't think so. Maybe they were. Where is A10? Oh, here it is. An A10, and then we'll need a B22, a peg that's basically gonna hold these together, it looks like. B22. Just this guy. Ooh. And they're never to be seen again. Hold on a second, let me find this guy. All right. Found it. All right, so let's file these up real quick. All right, so now we go A15 peg thing. I don't know what you call this. And then A10. Like so, and then A15. And then J27 is the book cover. Where's J27? And basically just the same thing we've been doing. Line up the spines like so, and maybe more carefully wrap the covers. There we go. Going a little too quickly with that, the previous ones. And then this goes where? I think it goes right here. I think that's where they're asking for that to go. Right up front here. And then now we're calling this structure, this whole thing, E, is now known as E. It looks like we can set it aside. All right, now what do we got going on? So whatever all this nuttiness is. So we've got I3. Let me move some stuff around. Here's our I's. So what do we have? We have I3. That is not the I's, that's the H's. Where's the I's? Here's the eyes. And I need I3, which is one of these. Is it just one of them? Yeah, it looks like it. These are very fragile. This is a very thin sheet. This is almost balsa wood-ish. I don't think it is, but it feels like it. And then J24. What is J24? Oh, it's another price tag. We're going to put another price tag on this. And again, we're going to have a little bit... How do they want this to go? Just in the middle. Okay. Now, let me kind of show you. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this on here. So obviously it's stuck, it's stuck on this, but there's voids here. So, and all these voids back here is adhesive or sticky, exposed to the air. So anything touches that, it's just going to collect it. But I don't know if there's much we can do about it. It's such a small little area. I have lost my X-Acto. There it is, rolled away. Because there's some little nubs here. I think I can just pop off with an X-Acto knife. There we go. Just to clean it up just a little bit. Okay. And then what do? We've got A11, which is one of these. And it's going with J11 as a book cover here. Atomic Habits is the name of this book. Okay. Where are we at here? So just, I don't think it matters. Just make sure it's upright or the right way up. There we go. There's our Atomic Habits. And we need D18. This is all going to assemble together on D18. Where are you at, D18? Here we are. This one. It has to go, it has to go this way with that D18 kind of showing. Right, there's no way to make that D18 not show, because obviously if I flip it, it has to, okay. So we want, this is going to go right up front here. That fits very loosely. And then the book pushes in front of it. I guess this is a little bit of a sales rack we're making here. But that fits very loosely in there. What are we doing with this? I think I'm going to put a spot of glue on the little, let me glue everything together. I'm going to put a little spot of glue on this guy because it is fitting very loosely. I'm trying to use very little bit, and there was way too much. Perfect. And hopefully I've set that over here. Now hopefully that glue will run down and glue this permanently to the table. That's what I plan on it happening. So now it looks like we're going to do this basically 3 times. So let me go ahead and punch. Are they all D18? Okay, so we need D18 and then D16. Might as well get everything we need all at once here. So D18, D16. There's the other I3s, which are over here somewhere. Where did I put them? Yep. Nope. Yep. Oh, it's in my hand. Okay, very carefully. These really are very fragile feeling. I do not want to break them in half. There we go. And then what do we have? J12 and, no, A11. So 2 more A11s. Okay, easy enough. Let's go ahead and put our books together first, I suppose. And we'll start with the first one, which is going to be J12. Where are you at, J12? You know what? This one I can't even tell the spine, so I think I'm going to have to wrap it by the cover. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's not the spine. I would have goofed that up. So that one I wrapped by the cover, not by the spine, because I couldn't really tell what the spine was, because you can see the spine is very minimal. I'm going to set that one right there on the instructions again where it goes, so I know which is which. And then now I need J13. And this one has a very distinct spine, so I want to make sure it is definitely lined up. And there we go. So let's set it where it goes in the instructions. Then each one of these guys has its own little sales tag, I guess you would say, call it. A little price tag on it. So let's grab those. There we go, and one more. Perfect, and then now up here we've got D18. Again, this goes in here, let's see how well it fits. So yeah, they fit very loosely. So I think we'll just kind of do the same thing. We'll pop some glue on it on the back side. Oh good, this one did not glue to the table. That's good news. Yep, let's see here. Just gonna hold it in place, give it just a touch of glue, hopefully just a touch of glue, don't go crazy on me. We'll set it over there to dry, and then we'll do the next one. Which this is D16. D16. Let me file that. Good. All right, and where did you, here we are, here's your sales tag. It fits exactly the same, so we'll just do the same thing. There we go. And I'm just kind of setting them. So with this thin, so I've mentioned this before. I mentioned actually earlier in this video, all I have is a super thin. And this stuff is actually meant when you put two pieces together, like if you're building wood, plastic, whatever, and you have two pieces together, at least this is what I use the super thin stuff for. And you have a seam. Hopefully you guys can kind of see this. I could just run that super thin across here, which it'll seep into that crack, and then you could spray it with the accelerant, and then you've got a fitting. But when you are trying to use it as actual CA glue or regular glue, it's tough to work with because it's so thin it runs everywhere. I usually like to use the medium, at least of the Starbond. I usually use their medium stuff. But like I said, I don't have any. But just to let you know kind of what the purpose of the different, your different CA glues or thicknesses or viscosities or whatever you want to call it. That's kind of the idea, or at least that's the way I use them. Take it for what you want. Let's see, we need A1. Where are the A's? Where did my sheet of A's go? Oh, here we are. A1 is here. And we're gonna have to get that little guy out. See if I can pop him out. There we go. And let's clean it up a little bit. Again, just run your finger down it. You can feel, you'll be able to feel where the little nubs are. Okay, we're gonna go, yeah, I guess either way, it doesn't matter. We're gonna go this way. This is the first one we did, and I've now glued it to the table. There we go. Which is gonna go here. Now this, we're gonna have to definitely be a little bit careful with. I want to make sure and push on the piece, it's the base piece itself, not push on the little fragile pieces when I'm kind of shoving this in here. This is the next one in line. Carefully, there we go. Those are actually fitting quite nicely. And then this is the last one in line. Nice. Now we've got a little cells rack. I don't know. These things are really cool to me. It all comes together and then you have something. I don't know. Pretty neat. So where does this go is the next question. Again, I'm going to double check, make sure I didn't miss anything. Looks like we've got it all taken care of. Oh, I see. There's another. So we need A2, which is right here. Set that aside so we can clean this up. Run my thumb down it. Yeah, let me think. There's a really good nub right there. What do you call those? I call them nubs. Is that the right thing to call what's left behind from the perforation there? You know, this is basically perforated wood. I'm assuming it's laser cut or whatever. I mean, it looks to be laser cut because it's all kind of burnt. And they leave just a tiniest little perforation. Is that like a nub? What do you call that? I don't know. Let me know. And then this is just gonna cap this other side off. This is where you gotta try to get them all three to line up at the same time. There we go. There we go. Perfect. And then we're gonna need a D15. D15 is here. Okay, and it is gonna just sit right up in here. Hold the top, make a cap for it. Hopefully y'all can see what I'm doing. There we go. And then the bottom, we're gonna need a D17, which is here. And what is that? Printed side I4, which is gonna be one of these. I4, oh, it's this guy. And again, this is the thinnest. This is actually this has to be balsa wood or just really thin ply. It's hard to tell. So you got definitely be careful with. If you ever built like any of those balsa wood planes or any of those, you got to be so careful with the pieces. This is going to go here, which is definitely, I think, going to need a dot of glue. Or otherwise, that is going to come right out of there at some point. Very carefully, very carefully. I don't want much. Come on. There it is. Little dot of, and the only thing I glued at that time was my finger. I can grab some of that glue on here and then re-stick it. Let's try one more time. I don't think our glue made it. I used a little not quite enough glue that time. And there's way too much, so that's perfect. All right, we'll let that, I think we'll let that dry. In fact, I think we're gonna use the yellow accelerator. I'm gonna pull this off the table to do it. There we go. And off my thumb it comes. There we go. Good. And it just fits right here in the bottom. I'm not liking the way that's looking. Get in there. There we go. Okay, there we go. Nope, it keeps popping out. This has been the most finicky part yet. Let's do it this way. Let's use this thin CA like I said it's meant to be used. So see how we have a seam here? Basically, if I just come in here and drop it like so, and my thumb's stuck, there we go. Hit it with some accelerant, that should have us glued up. Now, let's let my only worry is that, and I'm gluing my fingers together. This has been a nightmare. Okay. I'm afraid it's going to haze up a little bit. And there's our timer going off also. So let's get this finished up without permanently gluing any fingers together. Yeah, there we go. And then we're going to call this one an episode. Come on, get in here. And I think some of my glue has thickened up. There we go. There we go. Push on in there. And that's not too bad. I think it'll work. Let's go ahead and where does this? Let's go ahead and place this on A5 before we go. And kind of see how it looks. How it's going to look. Where's my A sheet? Oh, A5 is the big one. Here we go. So, yeah. And this, so let's orient A5 real quick. It's going to go that way, and it's showing it in, is that right? So we've got these two holes. No, that doesn't, where's that? Am I oriented correctly? And it's showing it in these two holes here. Yeah, that has to be correct. Okay. Just like so. I don't know. Yeah. So you can see, this is why I didn't want to, I don't know if you guys can see, this is why I didn't want to hit it with accelerant. So you can see what it kind of did to the glue down here. But I think it's all right. Doesn't look too bad. All right, let's set that aside. Thanks for joining me today, guys. We'll be right back tomorrow to keep working on this. If you're enjoying this, if you like this format, please let me know down in the description down below. I'm happy to make any modifications to how we're doing this. I'm still working again on like a face cam, things like that, so I can talk to the camera, talk to you guys. I just don't at the moment have a camera to do that with, or kind of the arrangement to do that with. But let me know what you think. Please hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to keep up with these builds. I'm going to keep this going every day. It's going to be a daily upload. So I appreciate you joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow.